Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sertivant. All right, so snow is still on the ground. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon, well, at least for this week as things start to warm up. Our friends in Eastern North Carolina, man, they were blanketed with snow, and they are still dealing with it. Not only did they deal with snow, they dealt with some fierce winds out there. Of course, we have to bring onto the show Sam Walker, OBX News. Sam, are you hanging in there, man? How are you doing, dude?
I need a sleep, man. These last 2 weeks have been long. Even though we didn't get much on the first one, it just feels like it's just not stopped since 2 weeks ago.
Well, Punxsutawney Phil is not helping our case.
No, he's not. They dragged that rat out of the log up there in Pennsylvania this morning. All this, they're sauced up. Anyway, we'll go there. We'll bring back Sir Walter Wally. That's what we want. We used to have a groundhog actually at the North Carolina Aquarium out here in Roanoke Island at one point that we used. But yeah, he 6 more weeks of winter. No, I'm done, man. Let's go. Let's go. I want to shovel some 80 degrees in sunshine instead of shoveling ice and snow for the last 2 weeks.
I'm with you, man. I guess we'll start from the beginning, man. So once this storm rolled in over the weekend, what have you guys been facing ever since?
Now, it's been kind of a unique situation out here because Corolla got 10.5 inches. They were the winner of the big lottery for the snow this week. And the Outer Banks got, anywhere from 4 to 10 inches, even a couple of spots, maybe 11. But you wouldn't know it, and I'll tell you why you wouldn't know it. If anywhere that was exposed, it all blew off because it was so cold and so dry, that dry snow. So it really didn't have a chance to accumulate in a lot of spots. It was blowing just like sand. So if you go back in the dunes, you go back in the woods, you go back on the side of your house, there are 4, 5, 6 foot drifts in some places. It's amazing the size of the drifts that we got out of this. But then you can drive right down the road, and I live out on the end of a causeway here. There wasn't a bit of snow on the road, but as soon as you get anywhere there was woods, there's snow everywhere. So that was one of the unique aspects of it. The winds played a huge factor in the snow, but also just a huge factor of what has happened here on the Outer Banks. We've had traffic signal gantries that had to be brought down because one of them was out dancing during the storm. We had 64-mile-an-hour wind gust right nearby at Jeanette's Pier and Nags Head. The DOT had to take that down today because it had broken 4-inch thick bolts that were holding it together. They had to take that down. And then we go down to Hatteras Island, and once again, we're talking about house collapses. We've had 4 falls since Sunday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, including 3 last night today. It's high tide. We're pretty much right on high tide right now. There's 2 more in Buxton. It looks like they may go at any moment. So we've had to deal with that. We had 3 feet of sand pushed on Highway 12 on Pea Island. Between Oregon Inlet and Rodanthe. We had 3.5 feet of water come in off the Sound in Hatteras Village and 2.5 feet in Frisco. We've had just about every impact you can imagine out of this storm. And again, it's going to go in the record books, not only before the numbers, but just the things that have happened with it. We're going to be talking about this one forever, just like we've talked about 1989 and 1980 snowstorms.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you didn't just say snowstorm, I would have thought we were in August right now, the way you were talking about. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, I want to, and you know what, you bring up an interesting point. Yeah, a lot of times we would be talking about tropical systems doing this. Nor'easters actually are more damaging for the Outer Banks. They have much more impactful features from them. They're usually longer duration than a hurricane. In the rare instance of maybe you go back to Florence and how it just sat over southeastern North Carolina and crawled its way in. That's a rare occurrence of the tropical system. Nor'easters behave like that much more often. And that's what this was essentially a nor'easter, a coastal storm. Winter coastal storms actually have greater impacts, again, because they're long duration. We get more of them, and sometimes they can be more powerful overall impacts than a tropical system because they're bigger. There's all kinds of weather reasons why they are, but we more concern ourselves. Yeah, we know we're out here on the edge of the continental shelf and get hurricanes, we get tropical storms, but it's during the winter. It's really during the fall. You think about from September until May is nor'easter season. Those can be more impactful, and a lot of times the impacts we've seen in previous storms like this have taken out houses, have closed Highway 12, can't run the ferries to Ocracoke for days, all that stuff. Then throw in the fact that it's been sub-freezing for a week, you just add a whole nother level to it. So that is one thing about it. Yeah, you're right. This sounds like stuff you would say in August and September. Out here, it's more December, January, February, March, April. We talk more like this because winter storms can be more impactful.
You brought up the Nor'easter in '89. What is this system, this Nor'easter from this past weekend? What is this? If you had to go back, can you compare it to anyone? I hate doing the compare game, but just to kind of give people some context on how historic this storm was.
Well, yeah, and that's what we do. And we talk about, this one could be like previous storms, but they all have their own unique characteristics. They're all different. This one probably is more different just because of the sheer wind field that was created and the strong wind field. And the fact that it was more blizzard-like conditions than we've seen with other storms. We haven't seen the winds topping out at, like I said, wind gust of 64, sustained at 50. And especially over a long period of time, those winds really cranked up starting about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday and did not let up until probably about noon on Sunday. Really, the peak was overnight. And some of us slept through it, but a lot of people didn't because you're on a house that's 10 foot high off the ground you're on the Outer Banks. So it's on pilings. They move. They shake. They make noise when it blows like that. So there's a whole memorable part just saying, man, that house was really rocking last night. That is part of it. So to compare it to those previous storms from the snowfall aspect is pretty easy. But this one really had more of a wind impact, I think. And that's what we'll probably be talking about as we go on in the future. Yeah, we got a lot of snow, but that wind impact. We've cleaned up a lot faster, I think, too, from this one. This sunshine really came out today and really helped get the main roads cleared off. But again, that wind helped blow a lot of that snow off a lot of roads, so it was a little easier. Our bridges were clear. Now, if you go out here right outside my house, and I can hear there's a duck and goose and swan party going out on a big sheet of ice out here with this full moon we got tonight. It's actually pretty cool out here on the Currituck Sound. But the sounds, man, there's sheets of ice on them. Still not thick enough to walk on. But our waterways are pretty clogged up, chocked up full of ice right now, which is very unusual when, for an extended period of time, but it does happen.
Well, Sam, I was sending your tweets and videos to family and friends just to kind of give them an idea. I was like, hey, you might want to check on cousin so-and-so, auntie so-and-so out there in Eastern North Carolina. Sam, my friend, stay safe, man. We'll check in with you soon.
Sounds good, Nick. I appreciate it.